Okay, we are now recording. Welcome to the first blueprint of Digital Builders Academy. Ilalabas ko na po ang ating slides. Let me go ahead and double check. All right, here we go. Ayun na. So, loading pa po siya. But we're getting there, guys. I'll just go ahead and screen share my whole screen para makita po ninyo. Ayan. Everything is clear, right? Okay, nakikita naman ang ating screen. Ayun. Thank you so much for verifying sa aming tech team. So, once again, welcome to Digital Builders Academy. This is a beginner's guide to the new economy. And for blueprint number 1, I will be your trainer and speaker. My name is Basant Aymanor. You can call me Bas for short. I'm the co-founder of our organization. It's an organization of digital entrepreneurs called EOTG Empire. That's short for Entreps on the Go. And at the same time, as stated by Caroline, I am the creator of Digital Builders Academy. I'm also an international mentor and speaker. I have been one for more than a decade. And kahit papano in the industry that I am a part of, I have received multiple awards and recognition and helped over 6,400 plus Filipinos to launch online careers. May it be sa industry and community namin or sa iba't ibang aspeto. And of course, ang kagandahan po ngayon, ayan. Blueprint 1, ang pangalan po niya is the new money mindset. And our learning outcome is these three. Unang-una po, mindset shift. We identify poor versus rich money thinking. Bakit? Because in my years of experience, dito ko po nakita na kung gaano po kahalaga ang how people think so that they can achieve a significant amount of success sa buhay nila. Pangalawa naman po, ESBI. Basically, it's about basic financial literacy and understanding where you are in our quadrant. So mamaya po, I will give you a quick discussion about that. And of course, out with the old. Ano pong ibig sabihin nun? Out with the old, in with the new. Why digital opportunities and businesses are the best fit for you. Okay. And of course, I would like to start with my background. So there are some here na alam na po nila kung sino ako before I became an entrepreneur. But there are also some na first time nila ako nakita. So by the way, I'm from Cebu City, Philippines. My name is, yun na po yung name ko, napakilala ko na po sarili ko. And before po ako naging isang digital entrepreneur and mentor, I'm actually a registered nurse by profession. So, kaway-kaway po sa mga registered nurses dyan. And of course, sa mga may kakilala or kapamilya ng mga nurse. And yung naging kwento ko po is that I only believe in one formula of success growing up, which is mag-aral ng mabuti, makakuha ng magandang degree, and then at the same time, mag-apply ng magandang trabaho. It will guarantee 100% a very bright future for kahit sino. So yan po yung only paniniwala ko sa buhay. So I did just that. Nagsipag po akong mag-aral. Nagsipag po ako after I graduated, took the board exam right away. And at the same time, one day after the board exam, nako, nag-go na agad ako sa mga iba't ibang kumpanya. I submitted my resume. Hindi ko nga hinintay. Di ba? Hindi ko po hinintay yung result ng exam. Because yung goal ko that time was for me to get a good job in a good company. And so that's exactly what I did. I lasted for a couple of years as a call center agent. And doon ko na-realize ang isang hard pill to swallow. Alam niyo kung ano yon? Hindi pala yung formula na buong buhay ko na pinaniwalaan ko that will guarantee me financial success, hindi po siya nakatulong sa akin. Bakit? Nagkaroon po ako ng tinatawag na expectation versus reality. I ended up na isang professional pero nahihirapan pa rin ako na kumita, hindi lang sa kumita ng pera ha, nahirapan pa rin ako talaga na magparami ng pera. Hindi ko pa rin nahihit yung mga goals ko. Siyempre, we all have aspirations sa buhay natin. And yun ang naging parang biggest question mark sa buhay ko. Masipag naman ako eh. 'Di ba? Sino dito nakaka-relate? Nagsisipag naman ako. Hindi naman ako tamad. Gumigising ako araw-araw para magtrabaho, and mind you, being a call center agent, na months at a time, gabi ka. Buong buhay, like get this guys ha, buong buhay mo sa gabi ka natutulog. Tapos you get into a job na buong buhay mo naman nagbago. Kasi gabi ka dapat gising at sa araw ka natutulog. It even affected my health. Pero bakit? Kahit anong kayod, kahit anong hard work ko, kahit anong pagtitipid ko na nga, parang hindi pa rin ako umasenso. And this is a question na hindi man natin na sinasabi or like ina-announce. 'Di ba? Marami sa atin hindi vocal about it, but marami po sa atin nakapagtaka niyan. Many of us have questioned that, 'di ba? Kahit nasa utak lang natin. Akala ko dati kulang lang ako sa sipag. Minsan nga dumating yung point, akala ko kulang ako sa swerte eh. Hanggang sa may nakilala akong more people, 'di ba? Ibang tao. And I started to ask the right people the right questions. Napunta ako sa ibang environment. And doon ako nagsimulang magtanong, bakit ang mga taong to, they make it so easy, di ba? They make it so easy na makaangat sa buhay. Bakit yung mga taong to nakakapag-travel? Bakit yung mga taong to ang laki-laki ng mga savings nila? Bakit ang ganda ng buhay nila? Pareho kami ng ginagawa. We started off in the same situation, pero bakit sila nakapag-shoot up ng resulta nila? Bakit ako hindi? And that's when I realized, hindi pala income lang alone ang pinaka-problema natin. Hindi yan yung pinakaunang problema. Di ba? Ano ba? Ano ba talaga yung na-realize ko na pinakaunang problema? Ang pinakaunang problema is mindset pala. Oo. So, mindset pala ang ugat ng lahat. Anong ibig sabihin mo sa mindset? 'Di ba? Meron mga memes dati, 'di ba, na naging uso. Mindset ba? Mindset. So, what does mindset mean? For me, mindset means na kung paano ka mag-isip, kung paano, ano yung perception mo sa mga nakikita mo ngayon, sa mga nakapaligid sa'yo. And when it comes to success, I noticed that people who are successful financially, 'di ba? Iba ang way nila na mag-isip tungkol sa pera. Iba ang way nila na nakikita kung paano gawin ang mga opportunities. Iba ang the way nila na mag-isip pagdating sa success. Then I was introduced, or rather I read this quote on a certain book. If you want to change the fruits, you will first have to change the roots. So anong ibig sabihin nun? Ang ganda, di ba? Ang ganda ng concept niya. So, simple pero totoo. Gusto natin baguhin ang resulta ng buhay natin. We want to improve our lives. Pero hindi natin binabago ang ugat, ang cause. It's as if, parang ganito, you dream na one day makaharvest ka ng mangga, pero ang palagi mong tinatanim ang munggo. So kahit gaano ka kasipag, kahit diniligan mo yan araw-araw, if you are not planting, if the roots are not changing, the seeds are not changing, then the results will not change. So ano yung ibig sabihin ng roots dito? The root cause. It is our beliefs, our thinking, our inner programming. Kaya may mga tao na pareho ng mga pinapasukan na opportunities, pero hindi pare-pareho ang resulta. Because we are bound by our beliefs and our programming. Kung ano yung nagiging paniniwala natin, saan ba namin nakuha yung paniniwala na yan? Nakuha natin sa environment where we grew up in. influence from our parents, from the people that we shared our lives with growing up. So kung ano yung paniniwala mo sa pera at ano yung paniniwala mo sa opportunity, lumalabas talaga siya as results. So in this first blueprint, we'll focus on what truly shapes your results, your money mindset, your internal blueprint, and the way that you make decisions. Kasi kung hindi mo ito mababago, kahit anong strategy or tool ang ibibigay namin sa iyo or mai-encounter mo in the future, babagsak ka pa rin sa luma mong sistema at ang luma mong sistema magbibigay sa iyo ng paulit-ulit mong resulta na hindi mo naman nagusto. So, ngayon, I would like to share with you a wealth formula that can help you identify the money mindset or success mindset na kailangan mong baguhin. I call this TFAR or thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. So, I'm going to focus a little bit, a couple of minutes on this slide, guys. Kasi eto po, this is not just something that we came up with. This is something that we lived with. Diba? Ito yung in-apply ko that drastically changed my results, and this is how I model, how I teach people na nagka-resulta din sila dahil dito. So let's start with the first one, thoughts. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng thoughts? What you believe about money, success, and yourself. Napaka-importante po. Kasi kung ano yung paniniwala mo will eventually become your reality. So ano ba yung paniniwala mo sa pera? Mahirap ba siyang kitain? Anong paniniwala mo sa success? Swerte-swerte lang ba siya? Anong paniniwala mo sa sarili mo? Yung mga sinabi ng mga ibang tao sa iyo while you were growing up na wala kang mararating, it will greatly affect how you feel. So it goes to the next part, feelings. The thoughts create emotions. Depende sa beliefs mo and thoughts mo. Are they empowering? Are they disempowering? Diba? They will have a different emotional impact sa'yo. Because the beliefs that you have or the thoughts that you have in your mind will either make you confident or doubtful or fearful. Diba? So, how do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about opportunities? How do you feel about money? Are you comfortable talking about money? Diba? Ganun yun. And eventually, your feelings decide your actions because your feelings influence how you behave. Diba? Do you take a leap of faith? Pag ikaw ba may bagong opportunity para mas gumanda ang kita mo, or there's an opportunity for you na mag-level up, anong una mong nararamdaman? Nag-hesitate ka ba? Do you settle on your fallback? Or do you take the leap of faith? Sino ka sa dalawa? Because they're actually affected, 'di ba, by your feelings, ang mga actions mo. Diyan nagbe-base ang decision mo. Bakit? Kasi ang tao hindi usually nagde-decide based sa logic. Nagde-decide ang tao based sa emotions niya. Kaya very important po that you keep your emotions in check so that you can improve your actions and behaviors, eventually your decisions. Bakit? Because your actions will lead to results. No matter kung gusto mo ang resulta or hindi. But definitely, ang resulta mo po ay galing sa consistent actions. Because your consistent actions definitely create your reality. They shape kung ano yung nakikita mo sa harap mo ngayon. Di ba? For example, kung isa kang empleyado, why are you working where you are right now? Hindi ka naman pinuntahan sa bahay ng HR ng kumpanya. Ikaw yung pumunta sa kanila at nag-apply. Di ba? Bakit nasa abroad ka ngayon? Hindi ka naman na-teleport dyan or kinaladkad papuntang airplane para makapag-work abroad. Ikaw yung nag-apply, nag-take ka pa nga ng medical, nag-take ka ng training. Di ba? Para ikaw makapunta sa abroad. So, lahat po yan nakadepende po, 'di ba, sa mga bagay na sinishare ko sa inyo ngayon. Thoughts, feelings, actions, they are leading to results. So, anong ibig sabihin? Kung ang iniisip mo, for example, di ako magaling, baka di ko kaya. Sino ba nakatry na ganyan sila? I've encountered that in the past. Hindi po ako I'm willing to admit that I have had those kinds of thoughts. So anong mangyayari pag naiisip mong di ako magaling, hindi ko kaya? Ang feeling mo takot, 'di ba? Kasi it's the effect of your belief. of your thinking. And dahil takot ka, if you have fear, ang action mo, anong nangyayari sa action mo? Limited. Umiiwas ka sa mga bagay na hindi ka komportable. Limited. You're going to be stuck in your own little comfort zone. And lastly, kaya ang resulta mo, kung limited ang actions mo, anong nangyayari sa resulta mo? Kulang. Yan po yung yan po yung formula. Ayan, may nag-comment, 22 years po, ganyan ako. O imagine nyo, di ba? Doon pala nagsimula lahat. So I'm gonna give just very few na mga examples just to help guide you. Okay? Let's start. I've seen na marami pong mga enrollees ay galing sa ibang bansa, which is kudos po sa mga OFWs na naghahanap talaga ng level up sa buhay nila. I really admire that in a person. Now, I would like to start, because of that, I would like to start with the OFW mindset breakdown. Using this formula, para makatulong sa inyo. Let's take a common belief ng mga OFW. Bakit nag-a-abroad ang mga OFW? Because they believe na walang pera sa Pilipinas. Walang opportunity na maganda para sa mga Pilipino dito sa Pilipinas. Kaya mag-a-abroad ako. That's very common thinking ng mga Pilipino. In fact, marami po dito nangangarap maging OFW sa iba't ibang bansa. Pero kung totoo na location ang solusyon para gumanda ang buhay mo, pag alis sa Pilipinas, pagpunta ng Amerika, pagpunta ng Qatar, pagpunta ng Australia, yun ba talaga ang solusyon? Bakit karamihan ng mga OFWs walang ipon kahit na 5 to 10 years na silang nasa abroad? Diba? So wala sa location. Kasi ang problema pala, hindi yung bansa, hindi yung trabaho. Ang problema is yung money blueprint nila. If you refuse to believe na pwede kang umasenso sa Pilipinas, hindi mo makikita ang mga opportunity na magpapaganda ng financial, 'di ba, ng financial situation mo kung nasa Pilipinas ka lang. Because you cannot see the things that you don't believe in. Yun yung number one. Now, there's another point, ha? Hindi naman talaga hindi naman talaga. Kasi marami naman talaga na nag-abroad gumaganda ang buhay. Pero take note, eto bakit maraming foreigner pumupunta ng Pilipinas at yumayaman? Diba? First was the Chinese. Tingnan nyo yung top 10 pinakamayaman sa Pilipinas. Ang daming insect. Buti na lang napasok na si Villar kasi dati wala pa talagang Pinoy sa top 10 pinakamayaman sa Pilipinas. Do you know we're one of the very few countries in the world na ang pinakamayaman sa isang bansa ay hindi Pilipino? Diba? Imagine nyo yan. So, at the same time, tingnan nyo to yung mga Koreans, they have businesses, Japanese have businesses, wag na tayong lumayo, pati mga Bombay. Sa sarili nating bansa, mas marami pang pera ang Bombay. Can you imagine that? So it's not the location, di ba? Walang pera sa Pilipinas kaya dapat nasa abroad. What feeling did it create for you? Fear of lack, insecurity, and desperation. Ano yung action mo? Accepts any job abroad just to escape. Dami kong na-encounter. Teacher, ang ganda ng mga natapos sa Pilipinas, pero nag-abroad katulong. Paano nangyari yun? Anong result? Working hard but still broke and wala pa ring time freedom sa buhay nila. Wala pa ring ipon. That's not according to me, that's according to data. 80% of OFWs, according to Bangko Sentral, walang pera at walang ipon. So, what if the issue isn't about where you work, but how you think about money, growth, and opportunity? Diba? Ang dami mong tinalikuran na opportunity because yan ang gusto mo. So, yan para sa mga OFWs. Okay? That's one good way to identify what's holding you back. Next, marami sa mga Pilipino hindi na umaasenso kasi lalo na, actually, this is for the medyo once young generation. May naunang henerasyon. Palagi ko tong naririnig. Ang yaman hindi nadadala sa langit. O nga naman. Hindi naman importante ang pera kahit wala ako niyan, ayos lang. Di ba? Yun yung thought na ginawa niya. Pag sabi niya ng ganun, it's not the most important thing in the world, hindi nga yan nadadala sa langit. Ano yung nagiging feeling mo if you believe in that? You're eventually gonna feel guilty. Guilty about wanting to be rich. Di ba? You will experience the fear of being judged. Kasi why are you chasing something na hindi naman importante? Ano yung action ng mga taong ganyan? They settle for low income. They reject opportunities. They refuse to invest or grow. And the result? They stay stuck in scarcity and cannot help others financially. Ang dreams nila will stay dreams, di ba? Yes, di ba? Tama naman, hindi naman madadala sa langit ang pera, pero ang tanong, anong klaseng buhay ang naiwan mo habang nandito ka sa lupa? Sa totoo lang, if you have more, you can give more. Help more and change more lives. So ang goal natin, hindi lang yumaman. Yumaman ng may purpose. Ano pa yung another common belief that I can share with you, which is very, very common among our culture? Okay lang ako sa simpleng buhay. I have heard that so many times. 'Di ba, na hindi na po ako nagugulat pagka may mag-share ng ganyan. Ang ibig niyang sabihin, 'di ba, ano yung mga other na mga versions nito? Okay lang ako kahit basta makakain lang kami 3 times a day. Okay na ako. 'Di ba? They have this false declaration of contentment. Ibig nila sabihin in their thoughts, bakit sila nagsasabi ng ganyan is, I don't need more. I'm okay with what I have. So anong feeling ang makikreate ng ganyan? Guilt pa rin. Guilt when you're aiming higher in life. Kasi para sa'yo, masama kung hindi ka marunong makontento. So, anong nangyayari? Ayaw mong mag-aim ng higher? Ayaw mong ma-judge? 'Di ba? You settle too early. Pwede ka pa sanang maging best version of yourself, but you settled early. You did not reach for the stars kasi aanhin ko man yan. Okay na ako sa simpleng buhay. Anong ginagawa ng mga taong to? They reject big opportunities. They don't even listen to it. Hindi nga pinapakinggan, ay hindi na ganito na kailangan yan. Okay na ako dito. 'Di ba? Anong nagkaroon? 'Di ba? Nag-avoid siya ng new learnings because I'm content. I don't need to learn more. I don't need to grow. Anong nagiging resulta? Stagnation. Walang growth. Walang overflow. Hindi makakatulong sa iba. Now, how do you break from this mindset? Tanungin mo lang sarili mo, totoo nga bang okay na ako? O nasanay na lang akong mag-settle? Simplicity is good, but settling is different from peace and contentment. Lagi niyo po yung tandaan. Pwede naman simple ang buhay mo, pero may overflow ka para sa pamilya mo, sa community mo, at sa mga nangangailangan. Di ba? Pwede naman ako magkaroon ng simpleng buhay kahit marami akong pera. In fact, hindi mo ba naisip na mas simple ang buhay na mayaman kasi kung kailangan niyang gumastos, kailangan niya ng pera, meron agad siyang madudukot at hindi na niya kailangan maglimos o mangutang sa iba? So, it depends on perception. You can reframe your thoughts para matulungan mo sarili mo. Paano nga ba? Okay lang sa simpleng buhay pero hindi okay kung wala akong ibang option. Hindi okay na wala akong ipon. Hindi okay na wala akong pangtulong sa ibang tao, lalong-lalo na sa pamilya ko. Hindi okay na hindi ko nakukuha ang pangarap ko. Kasi kung simple lang ang buhay, dapat nakukuha ang mga pangarap. Okay, so are you learning? Meron na bang natumatak sa atin paunti-unti? Marami pa po yan, but I do not want to take too much of your time para sa pag-reframe ng mga mindset natin, but those are the most common. O, most common po natin yan. Ayan, may mga na-learn. So, eto yung question ko sa'yo. You can comment this on the chat box or you can jot it down on your notebook. But definitely, I encourage you to answer this question. What belief is holding you back? What is holding you back? Identify. 'Di ba? Bakit ganito yung resulta ko? Kasi ganito yung actions ko. Bakit ganito yung actions ko? Kasi ganito ang nafe-feel ko every time. And bakit ganito ang mga feelings ko? Because at one moment in time, I experienced this and ganito ako pinalaki. Ito yung paniniwala sa akin. Now, I know where the root is. I gotta change it. And you can only change your beliefs. Paano nga ba nagbabago ang beliefs, mentor? Bas, paano ba yung nagbabago? Actually, it's the same way kung paano mo nakuha yung original beliefs in the first place. You kept hearing it. You kept seeing it. You kept observing it. So you focus on new na mga conscious na mga information na tatanggapin mo. Reprogramming your mind means filling yourself with the thoughts, filling yourself with visuals and audio na ma-reframe siya. Kasi yung utak mo para lang yung sponge, para po siyang recorder. Kung ano yung paulit-ulit mong nakikita, mare-record niya po yun. And eventually, if you focus long enough on that new belief, di ba? I would suggest mga affirmations. Money comes to me easy in my life. I can achieve more. Marami po yan sa YouTube. Focus on whatever you want, like wealth mindset affirmation. You listen to it before you sleep. Malaking tulong po yan to reframe our programming. I did not grow up with a wealth mindset. I had to reprogram. It is possible po para sa ating lahat. So I'm happy na marami pong natuto. You can comment or you can jot down in your notes what belief is holding you back, but I'd like to suggest na i-continue yo po yan. 'Di ba? You get to know yourself more. Hindi po siya one-time thing lang ang pag-identify ng mga limiting beliefs natin, but it's a continuous process and ituloy-tuloy mo lang. Eventually, you will be amazed sa kind of result ang makukuha mo by just changing the way you think. So, now we're done with the first part, with the first learning outcome, and I hope na magagamit nyo yan, di ba, along the way, so whatever career ang pipiliin nyo. But right now, I would like to proceed from mindset. Now you're ready, di ba? Ready ka na. Ready mo nang tanggapin yung mga new information kasi naka-set up na sa utak mo. Now from mindset to strategy. Ngayon na yung mind mo is equipped to handle what you want in life, it's time to start positioning yourself for financial freedom. Okay? Importante yan, guys. And sa Pilipino pa naman, medyo struggle is real pagdating sa pag-change ng belief kasi maraming household na pinalaki na huwag kang mangarap ng masyadong malaki, huwag kang mangarap ng yumaman. Ginawang pangit ang pagiging ambisyoso at ambisyosa. But for me, I never saw any problem with that, na maging ambitious tayo sa buhay as long as wala tayong ginagawang masama. Di ba? So, let's explore how the rich think and build their income. This time, how they think, and this time around naman, anong klaseng opportunities ang usually ginagrab ng mga tao na nagiging successful. So let's go. Can you comment ESBI on our Zoom chat group if you can see my slides? Ayun. Thank you so much. Ayan. When this was around 10 years or 11 years ago, I think, I bought a book from the bookshop, and when I opened it, I was introduced to this 4 letters. So ano ba to? The book is called The Cash Flow Quadrant, and the author is Robert Kiyosaki. And I would forever acknowledge, kahit hindi niya ako kilala personally, but this person, Robert Kiyosaki, is a best-selling author, and he's actually an advocate in financial education. Marami po siyang mga iba't ibang investments, real estate, mga businesses niya, but this person, sa books niya, grabe ang natulong niya sa akin. And I'm sure marami talaga siya, millions of people na tulungan ng librong to. Ngayon, dito ko naintindihan, like you might ask me, ang dami mong pwedeng gawing trabaho, hindi, lahat ng meron ka, lahat ng ginawa mo for how many years of your life, there was never a hint na magiging entrepreneur ka. Pero paano ka nag-shift? Diba? Yun yung number one, because my dream was to be at the top of a corporate ladder as an employee. Pero paano nag-shift? Bakit nagbago? Because I saw this. This is the cash flow quadrant. It's also known as the ESBI quadrant. Anong quadrant to? Bakit nagbago ang direksyon ng career ko nung nakita ko to? It's because this quadrant shows you the 4 sources of income sa buong mundo. No matter kung ano yung trabaho mo. Maybe you're a lawyer or a doctor. Maybe you are in a corporate job. Maybe you have your small business or may tindahan ka. No matter the job is, no matter what you're doing right now na hanap buhay, you will be classified in one of these 4 quadrants. Ang mga quadrants na to, iba't ibang way na kumita ng pera. And the people who are in these quadrants, iba-iba din yung kanilang mindset pagdating sa opportunity. And also, ang quadrant na ito is divided between the left and the right side. So I'm going to discuss this mga basic lang, pang elementary style, because my goal is for everyone to be introduced to this. So let's start with the first letter on the quadrant, E. Anong ibig sabihin ng E? Employee. So if you have a job right now and meron kang employer na nagsasahod sa'yo, then you are an employee. Ang battle cry or ang mindset ng mga empleyado is they dream of or they desire of having job security and stable income. Usually it's the boomers, our parents. 'Di ba kami millennials, may mga Gen Z dito, usually parents natin. They want stable jobs, they want job security and they want stable income. Kasi yan yung time na nag-boom yung employment. So, ang empleyado usually, eto yung situation niya. They exchange time for a paycheck. Kailangan mo mag-clock in, kailangan mo mag-clock out, kailangan naka-time yung oras na nagtatrabaho ka. Because yung income mo is nakadepende sa oras and effort na binibigay mo. So you get paid only when working. No work, no pay. Ito yung naging nakakatawa. Kasi for the longest time, I've been talking about no work, no pay sa mga empleyado. Pero never tumatak sa most of them. Alam niyo kung kailan tumatak? 5 years ago lang, nung nag-lockdown. Kasi hindi pwedeng lumabas, so hindi sila pwedeng magtrabaho, so doon na sila nalungkot. Paano yan? No work, no pay kami. Because that's the thing. It's good kasi you get paid by the hour, but the downside is if you don't give time, 'di ba? Forever, the moment that you don't give time and energy to it, hindi ka na rin kumikita. Hindi siya sustainable at hindi siya lifetime. Because you can't work forever. May retirement age tayo eh. May time na hindi ka na mapapakinabangan ng employer mo. Now, employees are dependent on their employer for salary, benefits, and retirement. It feels safe. Yes, it feels safe kasi kahit tamad ka, kikita ka pa rin. Kahit hindi ka performer sa company mo, may sahod ka pa rin. Sa call center nga, ako yung tipo ng tao na dumating sa point that I would try to lessen my calls in a day. Yung mga kasama ko nasa 20 plus na, ako nasa 10 lang. Bakit? Kasi pareho lang naman. Kung mag-take ako ng 10 calls at sila nasa 21 per day, pareho lang kami ng sahod. So bakit ko pahihirapan sarili ko? Yan din yung na-realize ko. Pero alam niyo yung sad truth? In employment, vulnerable to layoffs and inflation. Anong ibig sabihin? Layoff, pagka kailangan nila magtanggal ng tao, wala kang magagawa talaga. And inflation meaning to say, lahat nagmamahalan except yung sahod. Tumataas yung presyo ng bigas, presyo ng bilihin, pero hindi sumasabay ang pagtaas ng sahod, di ba? So, usually, those who become employees are people like me. Oh, paano? Study hard and get a good paying job. Yun yung mindset natin, yun yung belief system natin. Next, let's go to self-employed. Ano to si S? Self-employed. I want it done right. I have to do it myself. Usually, makikita mo dito yung mga espesyalista at mga magagaling. They're very independent people. Hindi lang po ito na skilled professionals. Okay, I'm gonna break it down ha, kung sino-sino yung nasa self-employed. Skilled professionals, tulad ng mga doctors. Kasi ang doctor, hindi naman yan sinasahuran. 'Di ba? Ang income nila nakadepende sa galing nila kasi kung magaling kang doctor, pipilahan ka. Freelancers, yung mga freelancer na mga videographer, mga freelancer na mga virtual assistant, so freelancer na mga editor. So yan, freelancer sila. Agents. So yung mga agents, mga headhunters and the like, mga real estate agents, mga ganon. Yan, mga self-employed sila. Small business owners. So yung mga kakilala mong may water filling station na maliit, may sari-sari store, yun, small businesses yun. Ma-identify mo ang isang small business kung wala kang halos empleyado. Ikaw yung may-ari ng store, ikaw lang din yung empleyado, kaya self-employed, ganon. So, it's good. There's an opportunity na para mas tumaas ang kita. But still, exchanging time for money. No work, no pay ka pa rin. So kahit gaano ka kagaling as a doctor, the moment na gusto mong magpahinga, bakasyon muna ako. 'Di ba? Wala mo ng pasyente. Wala ka rin kita. Kung wala kang patient. So ganun ang nangyayari. Often overworked and overwhelmed. This is the sad truth about self-employment. Kasi the more na gumagaling kayo, and the more na nakikilala kayo, the more na nakakapagod yung trabaho nyo. Imagine, kung isa kang, like, kung tindahan ka or online seller ka, dumami, grabe yung sales mo. Ikaw lang lahat. Para ka naman, grabe yung puyat nun. Kung kainan ka, simpleng karinderya kayo or nagpapadeliver kayo ng pagkain, the more na dumadami yung orders nyo, ang sarap sa feeling kasi daming order, daming pera, pero nakakain yung customer mo, pero pa ikaw hindi ka makakain sa sobrang busy mo. Ganon yung nangyayari. 'Di ba? Usually, self-employed people are overworked and overwhelmed. May-ari ng mga kainan, nako, 4 a.m. pa lang nasa palengke na yan. Getting fresh vegetables, fresh ingredients para sa food nila. So, the busier, the more income they have, the busier they get. So, they're prone to burn out and self-employed. And they believe, eto yung belief nila, independence is success. Being your own boss. They're still trapped in the hustle, but at least they're independent because they want to be their own boss. O, di ba? Kaway-kaway sa mga self-employed. Now, let's go to the right side of the quadrant. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng B? Business owner. Ang business owner naman, eto yung belief nila. I don't work for money. I build a system that works for me. So when we say B quadrant, think of all the big businesses that you can think of. Okay? Example, SM, McDonald's, Jollibee, Amazon, di ba? Yun, big businesses yun. Usually, mga negosyo na merong 300 or, updated na nga minsan, 500 employees pataas are considered big businesses. They have a team or system doing the work. So, ang kita nila, unlike sa self-employed, na si self-employed, ako lahat, kasi ako yung magaling eh. Di ba? Ganun si self-employed. Si big business, they rely on managers, di ba? Project managers, operation managers, they rely on staff, they rely on people na may iba't ibang roles in a system, making the operations of their business more efficient. They also rely, tech giants like Amazon, paano niya naging market ang buong mundo? They rely on technology, the system na na-create nila through technology. So income continues even without personal presence. Okay? Kahit na, no, this is very evident. You don't need to, ilang beses ka na ba, like, simula bata pa tayo, kumakain na tayo ng Jollibee. Hanggang ngayon, nakasalubong mo ba kahit once yung may-ari? Ang tanong, kilala mo ba? Di ba si Tony Tan Caktiong? Makikilala mo kaya siya? Di ba? So, yun yung number one. They don't need to be present in a specific area for their income to generate. Yan lang yung pagkakaiba ng isang negosyante. Income continues even without their life. Oh, paano ba yun? Matagal na pong patay ang may-ari ng McDonald's, ang CEO, si Ray Kroc. Pero until now, every minute, grabe, ilang burgers na bebenta ng McDo worldwide every minute. 2019 pa lang patay na yung may-ari ng SM, yung nagpatayo talaga ng SM, Henry C. Until now, kumikita pa rin ang SM, tapos napunta pa yung yaman niya sa mga anak niya. Because they created a system that works on its own eventually, kahit wala na sila. So, their focus, ang skill set naman dito, unlike sa mga skilled professional na kailangan mo talagang pag-aralan, maging doctor, editor, di ba, ganon? Dito, although they need general knowledge, pero ang pinaka-biggest strength nila, leadership, strategy, and na-duplicate nila sarili nila. How can I duplicate myself through systems and people? Yan ang mga negosyante. And lastly, dito naman po tayo sa pinakamayaman na quadrant sa lahat, the playground of the rich. Oo, ang tawag po sa I quadrant is the playground of the rich, also known as investor quadrant. I make money work for me. Ang pagkakaiba ni businessman at ni investor, si businessman may mga tao, may sistema. Si investor mayaman na siya. Marami akong pera, kaysa patulugin ko yan sa bangko, i-invest ko yan, may bagong magpapatayong resort, kuha ko ng stocks, kuha ko ng shares, may bagong condominium. Guys, kung may makikita kayong mga project na like bagong hotel, bagong condominium, always take note na hindi lang isang tao na muhunan yan. Merong mga shareholders and investors. Sila po to. Income comes from investment, stocks, real estate, businesses. Highest level of financial freedom. Bakit? Kasi kung negosyante ka, may chance ba ang tao mo, masakit sa ulo. Mag-fire ka, mag-hire ka pa, mag-train ka ng tao. May process pang ganyan. Pero kung investor ka, money never sleeps. Kaya kahit tulog ka, pagising mo, may pera ka na sa ganitong klase na income generating asset. It requires, although, di ba? Although pinakamaganda to, but it requires financial education and delayed gratification. Kasi you need na, kailangan talaga ng compound interest sila yung mayaman yung mga investor. So it will take months and years pa nga para mas lalo silang yumaman. Hindi sila gastador nung nagsimula sila. It's very risky, however. Kung wala ka po pong masyadong alam pagdating sa pera, this is the last part. It's a journey from E to I, ESB then I. This should be the last part because it's risky without knowledge, but powerful with the right mindset. Let my money work harder than me. So napakabaliktad, no? Ang empleyado nagtatrabaho para sa pera, si investor pera ang nagtatrabaho para sa kanya. So yan po ang naging situation. Now, here's the thing. Saan ka sa apat ngayon? Okay? Kung estudyante ka naman na pumasok, kung ano lang yung plano mo after school. 'Di ba? Imagine that it's already yours. So saan ka sa apat ngayon? You can comment E if you're an employee, S if you're self-employed, B if you have your own big business, and of course I kung ano. So ano bang meron dito? Saan ka sa apat? Just comment there. Ayan, may nagsagot ng E. So, it's normal. Huwag po kayo mahiya mag-comment ng mga E or S dyan because expected ko talaga na karamihan ng tao sa mundo, 95% of the world's population ay nasa left side, either employed or self-employed. But this is the situation. Dahil nagre-rely sa oras at nagre-rely sa energy, 5% lang ng pera sa mundo ang umiikot sa E and S quadrant. Bakit? Because ang oras is resource na nauubos. Ang energy is a resource na nauubos, hindi siya infinite. So may limit ang pag-income nila. Kaya 5% lang ng yaman sa mundo ang umiikot sa ganyang mga opportunities. On the right side, however, 5% lang ang population, actually it grew 5 to 8% na lang. Ang population sa buong mundo na nasa big business quadrant at investor quadrant. Pero sa kanila umiikot ang 95% of the world's money. Sabi nga ni Rockefeller dati, one of the richest men, founding fathers of America, I would rather earn 1% from 100 people's job kaysa 100% of my own efforts. Diba? So ano yung concept? Paano nangyari to? Bakit ang mahirap lalong naghihirap? Bakit ang mayaman lalong yumayaman? Bakit ang mga empleyado, ang mga middle class na empleyado, pinakabugbog sa lahat? The most hardworking and the most taxed bracket. Because, aside sa sitwasyon no, eto, dahil iba ang mindset pagdating sa kung paano kitain ang pera. The left side earns from 100% of our effort. That is called active income. Samantalang the right side uses systems, business tools, di ba? Manpower, technology, and money para kumita sila. So what is their principle? That was when I shifted my career nung nalaman ko ang magic word ng mga mayayaman, and it is leverage income. Do you know that it is the magic word of the rich? So dun ko nakita. That's when I made the decision to jump. Bakit? I wanted leverage. Bakit? Kasi pareho lang tayong lahat nagsisipag. Bakit hindi tayo pareho ng kinikita? Bakit hindi tayo pareho ng resulta sa buhay? So from active, I started out as an employee, shifted to self-employed, and jumped to the business quadrant. Hopefully, when I'm old enough, I can also become an investor. Di ba? So napakaganda. Ito po yung number one realization ko. So kung ikaw ang papipiliin ko, saan mo gusto? Sa left or sa right quadrant? Yeah? Left or sa right side ng quadrant? So ayun. Ngayon alam nyo na. Now, GM ba, sayang yung profession mo? No. I am still a nurse. Nagkataon lang that I am a nurse and entrepreneur at the same time. Hindi po ikakabago, ikakawala ng lahat ng pinaghirapan mo sa buhay kung may profession ka man ngayon. Madadagdagan lang. Di ba? Ang pangalan mo, ang title mo, madadagdagan. So yan po yung kagandahan. Now, are you learning? Meron bang realization? Now, there are a lot of things I want to discuss, but of course, marami pa po kayong topic. This is just the first blueprint. Patapos na po ako. Kaya eto na po. I would like to, kasama yan sa fields of nursing and nurse entrepreneur. Yes, I am learning. Now, let's proceed to the last part of my blueprint 1. This time naman, ang pag-uusapan natin, what advantage do you have now? Okay, Bash, alam ko na. Di ba? I need to shift. Although I'm starting as an employee or self-employed person, pero I need to start looking for opportunities that can also leverage me. Kasi ayoko lang naman kumikita palagi ng pera, tapos wala akong time. I want to have both. So, kailangan ko na siguro magpatayo ng mall. Kasi in example mo ang SM, kailangan ko magpatayo ng pareho sa Jollibee. No, no, no. Diba? The thing is, ngayon na alam mo na kung where you should position yourself when it comes to opportunities, kailangan mo din makita ang advantage mo sa panahon natin ngayon. Kasi ang SM, that's like a couple of decades ago na yan, guys. Wala pa tayo dito sa mundo nung pinatayo ang SM. Jollibee, ako nga, hindi pa ako pinanganak nung may Jollibee na eh. So, they became successful now because during their time, yun yung pinaka-advantage na dapat mong ginagawa. So what advantage do you have now? Bakit? The world changed, but have you adjusted your advantage? So there are points that I want to share with you, like right now kasi, it's not about mga specific na skills na kailangan meron ka. Tulad ng digital skills, they're the new currency right now. There are already a lot of opportunities na kahit hindi ka anak ni Henry C, kaya mong pasukan. Because they're low cost, pero high reach na platforms that can help you with your edge. And lastly, ang kagandahan pa ngayon sa panahon natin, remote work and business, normal na. Hindi mo na kailangan na magpagawa ng mga gusali. Wala nang ganon. You can start kahit kung saan ka ngayon. You can start at home para gumanda yung buhay mo, para magkaroon ka ng competitive advantage. So, what competitive advantage are you talking about? So, I would like to start by showing you the evolution of competitive advantage. Let's go ways back. Mag-time machine po muna tayo. Unang-una, nung panahon ng mga Kastila, early 18th century, that's 1700 pataas, we were in the agricultural age. Okay? Pag sinabing agricultural age, kung sino yung may pinakamaraming lupa, sila yung mayaman sa panahon na yon. So, doon po nauso yung mga hasyendero at hasyendera. Moving forward, we welcome the industrial age between 1760 and 1840. Kung sino yung may mga machinery, pagawaan ng mga pabrika, yun, sila naman yung mayaman. And during the industrial age, fun fact lang guys alam nyo ba na employment was first developed during the industrial age dahil kay Henry Ford? Sino si Henry Ford? Ang founder ng Ford Motors. Kasi gusto niyang i-increase ang production ng kanyang mga sasakyan na mga Ford. Kaya nakipag-usap siya sa mga tao na if you help me na mag-build ng car ko, I will pay you in return. And when you're old, I'll give you benefits. Diyan po nagsimula ang employment. So it was in the age of machines. Okay? So, kung sino yung may-ari ng mga pabrika, pagawaan, sila yung yumaman sa time na yan. Now, over time, 90s pumasok, early 90s, papunta sa early 2000s, anong nangyari? The internet was born. And thus, we welcomed a new era called the Age of Information. Oo, information and technology. So anong meron dito? People who had access to businesses involving the internet, yung yumayaman. So, dyan po lumabas yung Alibaba. Okay? Dyan po una din si Facebook. Doon na, Google, YouTube. Pansin nyo, usually ng mga big tech companies right now, they started in the early 2000s. Microsoft. Diba? During those times, So kung sino yung may access to information, sino yung nakatulong, mga computers, mga software, mga social media websites, and mga simula in the early stages, sila yung yumaman at naging billionaire sa time na yan. Oo. Paano naman tayo? 2025 na. We're still in the age of information and technology, to tell you honestly, but we're in a more advanced state right now kasi nandito na yung AI. Ang daming mga grabe, dati hindi ka naman wala kang halos magawa sa cellphone mo. Pero ngayon, you can create quality vlogs just from your phone. Diba? What is the era that we're in right now? I'd like to call it the post-digital era. And ang pinaka-currency dito ngayon is attention. Kaya kung napapansin nyo, ang daming mga bata ngayon, dati naririnig ko pa, paglaki ko, gusto ko maging doktor. Diba? Napakaraming mga bata. Gusto ko maging doktor, gusto ko maging teacher, pero sino sila? Anong gusto nila ngayon? Gusto kong maging YouTuber. Gusto mo maging influencer. Daming nangangarap maging content creator and influencer. Because attention is the new currency. Tingnan nyo yung mga influencer ngayon na millions of followers. Parang sila yung, wala na masyado yung mga old na, halos hindi nga kayo nakikinig tayo sa news, di ba? Compared sa mga vloggers and mga influencers. Sila talaga yung parang nag-aano ng buhay natin ngayon. They're the leaders right now. Those who have attention. Mga negosyo na patok, na napapansin, nagda-trending, yun po, attention na ngayon. So, now that you know, then you know where we are right now, you know what opportunity we have, and your mindset is ready, then maka-come up ka na. Now, what kind of opportunity can I start with na in this age, na maposisyon ko ang sarili kong manalo? Diba? Huwag na tayong magpahuli. Ayaw mo naman mahuli. O sumabay ka na sa panahon. So, evolution has been existing for quite a long time. May time pa dati na you can only dine in or take out, but right now, as long as you have an app, kahit anong kainan pupunta na sa bahay mo. Di ba, yung mga pagkain. Dati, kailangan may number pa sa Jollibee, iba pa yung number ng KFC, pero ngayon, isang app na lang, kahit saan pa. Di ba, nadi-deliver na. So, dati yung entertainment natin, nagsimula sa radyo, tapos pumunta sa TV, but right now, wala na nga nagki-cable eh. Di ba? Wala na halos nagki-cable. Paano yan? Kasi meron ng mga smart TV, i-connect ko na lang sa Wi-Fi ko or sa tablet at cellphone ko na lang. Ma-entertain pa ako sa TikTok. Nag-evolve ang entertainment. Na-evolve din ang hospitality. Dati, hospitality business, ang mayaman dyan, mga hotel, mga condo. Pero ngayon, ang mayaman dyan, Airbnb. Wala man lang silang kahit anong real estate. Di ba? So, nag-evolve. Learning has evolved as well. Dati, for you to be able to learn this, you gotta enroll and pay tuition. Pero ngayon, through online, through Zoom, you can learn. Meron na nga kami nga, ang term namin sa Google is Google and YouTube University. Kasi the way that we learn right now is so different than the way we used to learn. Guys, when we were in college, kung meron akong kailangan na information, I had to go to the library. Diba? Dati kung meron kang hindi alam na word, you had to open a dictionary and look for that word. But right now, isang click lang sa Google, isang search mo lang. Nandun na agad lahat. Learning. Grabe, grabe ang evolusyon ng learning. Diba? Ang dami mong natutunan outside of school just because of contents. Just because of social media. And of course, the evolution of business opportunity. Dati, kung sino yung may pinakamalaking mga mall, gusali, ay nako, panigurado, sobrang laki ng kita. Pero doon ako nagulat when I was doing research in retail businesses at nakita ko na ang Lazada at Shopee, mas malaki ang sales kaysa SM. Bakit nakakagulat yon? Wala silang inventory eh. Di ba? Unlike sa SM, may inventory sila. Pangalawa, ang SM, pinakamalaking mall yan. Di ba? Pinakamalaking mall yan sa Asia. Kailan ba kayo nakapasok ng Lazada na mall na building? Hindi yung last mall sa app nila ha. Lazada na mall. Shopee na mall. TikTok na store. Di ba TikTok shop pero nasa cellphone? Hindi na nila kinailangan magpatayo ng building ng mga stores para kumita because of the internet, because of social media. Nandun na po. Diba? So, dyan mo makikita, the world has changed. So, hindi pwede na maglaro ka ng bagong laro, tapos ang gamit mo is the old rules. You need to play the rules of this new game. So, that's how you stay updated. Which I would like to end with this. You can't win in today's economy with yesterday's mindset. Mindset mo pagdating sa pera, opportunity, and success, you can't win in today's economy. To thrive in the new era, you need upgraded beliefs, better decisions, and of course, a digital advantage. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm actually done sa aking ano. Pero, bago ko po i-introduce ang blueprint number 2, of course, I would like to give you or show you a message from one of the people na naging students ng DBA and ng community ko ng na eto siya, she's an OFW and she's going to share kung paano siya natulungan ng Blueprint 1. Okay? So, i-share ko po muna para makilala niya. Her name pala is Rizalyn Alaton and eto na po. Wait lang. Ayan. Pakinggan lang po muna natin siya.
Hi, this is Rizalyn Alaton. Nandito ako ngayon sa bansang Kuwait for 8 years as a domestic helper. Dahil sa DBA o Digital Builders Academy, sa online course na ito, nabago ang mindset ko na dati sobrang negative. Noong naintindihan ko at na-discuss sa akin na mabuti, dito na ako nag-try. OFW ako na wala talagang kaipon-ipon. But now, nagkaroon ng side hustle, kaya may ipon na ako. At dito ko din na-realize na sobrang malaking maitutulong sa ating lahat. Thank you DBA dahil naging sagot ka sa matagal ko ng goal sa buhay. Enroll now!
Ayun, thank you so much, Rizalyn. So, she sent us a message kasi medyo busy pa siya because she's working abroad, iba yung time zone. But thank you so much. So, nakita nyo, dahil natulungan siya with her mindset, nagkaroon talaga siya ng malaking resulta. From no ipon, as an OFW, mahalaga sa kanila magkaipon. So, ngayon from no ipon, nagkaroon ng sobrang laking ipon, tapos ang dami pa niyang nagawa for her family. So, ibaon nyo lang po, whatever you learned here, the knowledge is power, but I want to tell you the greatest form of power is knowledge when applied. So thank you so much. I hope na marami kayong natutunan. I would like to end my blueprint number 1 and its recording.